Ranger Daniel Hayes had seen many things in his 15 years patrolling the dense, beautiful expanse of Blackwood National Park. But nothing could have prepared him for the encounter that would change everything. It was a cloudy Friday afternoon in early autumn. The air was crisp, the wind gentle, and the forest painted with hues of gold, red, and burnt orange. Daniel had been assigned to patrol the Northern Trail that day, a rarely used stretch of land deep in the forest, where thick trees and narrow paths kept most visitors away. He was halfway through his shift when he heard the faint sound of twigs. Snapping too quiet for a bear, too nervous for a deer. He paused, alert, then came soft whimpering. At first he thought it was an injured animal. He crouched low, pushing aside branches, moving carefully. And then he saw them. 2 children, no older than 7 or 8, were huddled together near a tree stump, their clothes dirty, faces pale, and eyes wide with fear. The boy clutched the girl's hand tightly, as if letting go would mean losing her forever. Daniel immediately moved forward, gently kneeling a few feet away so he wouldn't startle them. "Hey there," he said softly, his voice calm and reassuring. "My name is Ranger Daniel. You're safe now. Are you hurt?" The kids didn't speak at first. The girl sniffled. The boy looked like he was trying to be brave, but tears welled in his eyes. Then the boy whispered 5 words that sent a chill through Daniel's spine. They took Mom and Dad. Daniel's training kicked in, but his heart pounded. Yes. This wasn't a case of kids getting separated from their parents during a hike. There was something far worse at play. The children were terrified, not just lost. He knew he had to act fast. He pulled his radio from his belt and called dispatch. "This is Ranger Hayes. I have 2 miners found off the Northern Trail near Fern Hollow. They're alone. Parents possibly abducted. Requesting immediate backup and emergency services. Over." The voice on the other end was quiet for a beat, then replied, "Copy that. Backup en route. ETA 15 minutes. Can you get more details?" Daniel lowered his radio and turned to the kids again. He offered them a water bottle and wrapped his jacket around the shivering girl. "What's your name, buddy?" he asked the boy. "Ethan," he said shakily. "And this is my sister, Lily." "Ethan, can you tell me what happened?" Ethan nodded, struggling to find the right words. "We were camping at Birch Grove with Mom and Dad. Last night, after dinner, some men came. They had masks and flashlights. They told Mom and Dad to be quiet. They tied them up." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Did they hurt them?" Ethan shook his head. "Not when we saw. They said they just wanted to talk. But Dad told us to run, so we did. We ran all the way." Here, Ethan nodded again. "We got lost. We were hiding. We didn't know if they were coming after us." Daniel gently placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "You did the right thing. You were very brave." Lily finally spoke, her voice barely audible. "Are Mom and Dad going to be okay?" Daniel looked her in the eyes. "I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they are." Backup was still 10 minutes away. Daniel knew he couldn't wait. If the kids had run for hours through the woods, the kidnappers might not yet know where they went. That meant precious time to track down the site and find their parents. He radioed again. "Heading to Birch Grove now. Children are stable. Leaving them with M's once they arrive. We'll attempt to locate the scene. Possible hostage situation." "You sure, Hayes?" his dispatch asked. "I'm sure." Within moments, the M's team arrived and took over care for Ethan and Lily. Daniel quickly asked them to mark the kids' location on GPS, then turned toward Birch Grove, a known camping spot about 2 miles west. He hiked fast, his hand never far from his sidearm. When he reached the campsite, he found signs of a struggle. A smothered campfire. 2 folding chairs knocked over, a half-eaten meal, and ropes cut and dropped near the fire pit. Daniel scanned the area for footprints, disturbances, any sign of direction. The ground was dry, but in the soft soil near the edge of the site, he spotted tire tracks. Not from a park vehicle. Something. Heavier, maybe a van. He followed the tracks, careful not to disturb them. They led to a dirt service road barely used by anyone. As he moved forward, he heard something muffled voices. Then footsteps. He ducked behind a tree, heart pounding. Two men walked into view. One carried a walkie-talkie. The other had a rifle slung over his shoulder. Neither wore masks now. Daniel listened carefully. They're probably halfway too. The state line by now, one of them said. Why'd we even take the parents? The guy's a journalist, the other muttered. He was digging where he shouldn't. Boss said we had to shut him up. The kids weren't supposed to be. There, Daniel's mind raced. So it wasn't just a random crime. It was targeted. The father was investigating something, probably illegal activity, and someone wanted him silenced. He pulled back. Made a quiet call to dispatch again, whispering into his radio. I have 2 suspects in visual, armed there guarding a hostage. Site requesting SWAT backup immediately. He marked the location and stayed low. Minutes crawled by as more voices arrived. Then he saw the parents bound, blindfolded, and seated near a tree. They were alive but scared. Daniel knew he couldn't risk engaging alone, but he also couldn't wait much longer. Kidnappers had mentioned the boss, and leaving this might be his only window. Then he heard the best sound in the world, the faint rustle of boots and the soft call of radio static. Reinforcements had arrived. With quiet precision, a small SWAT unit flanked the clearing. Within seconds, commands rang out. Drop your weapons. Hands in the air. The kidnappers froze. One tried to run. He was tackled. The other raised his hands slowly. No shots were fired. No one was hurt. Daniel rushed forward as the scene was secured. He knelt beside the parents, untying their hands. You're safe now, he said. Your kids are safe too. The mother broke into tears. The father, though exhausted and bruised, whispered, Thank you. Later that evening, the family was reunited at the ranger station. Ethan and Lily ran to their parents, clinging to them tightly. The emotion in the room was overwhelming. Daniel stepped back, watching quietly. He wasn't one for attention, but the father noticed him. You saved our lives, he said. How did you find us so fast? Daniel smiled. Your kids led the way, the father nodded. I knew if I told them to run, they'd find help. You raised 2 brave children, Daniel replied. The FBI later confirmed that the kidnappers were part of a small, criminal network involved in illegal land deals and corruption within protected areas. The journalist Mr. Carter had been close to exposing them. The kidnapping was meant to silence him, but thanks to 2 terrified kids, 5 simple words, and a ranger who refused to waste a second, justice came faster than anyone expected. That day, Ranger Daniel Hayes didn't just protect a forest, he protected a family, uncovered a crime, and reminded everyone that even in the darkest parts of the woods, there are people who will do whatever it takes to keep others safe.